Good morning, this is TCR, TroyCommunityRadio.com. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN. Time for the Mayor's Report, and back on American soil in good old Troy, Ohio is Mayor Michael Beamish.
Mayor Beamish is back in Troy, Ohio, USA, and happy to be back. But certainly I came back to an interesting week in review here.
Goodness, yes.
Yeah, and we'll get to the good stuff, and that is the Troy Strawberry Festival that's this weekend going on. But let's reflect a little. When I came back, of course, we had a wonderful Memorial Day observance, and I want to thank David Denoyer, and I want to thank you and Troy Community Radio for certainly showing that community spirit and patriotism. I thought that day was well attended in the morning. Of course, in the evening and in nighttime,
things kind of turned.
They turned. It was, we had some severe weather, tornadoes included, and luckily for Troy, we were blessed and spared. Most of that devastation took place south of us, but devastation it was. So our thoughts, our well wishes go out to all those folks who are suffering right now and trying to get their selves back into some kind of semblance of order. But we had power outages all around Miami County, but not near as devastating as some of the communities south of us, including Dayton.
Just to our north, earlier in the weekend, we had the straight line winds in Piqua.
That's absolutely right, and then Salina. So we were really in that corridor that was spared, and so that is a blessing. And I certainly appreciate that. But I also want to mention Ron Pennebaker, the veterans organizations. They put on a wonderful observance, not only at the bridge, but we moved down Veterans Memorial Park in Riverside Cemetery, and I had a chance to have remarks, and as well as our featured speaker. But a well-attended, good way to start Memorial Day weekend or finish the weekend. But boy, we sure had some severe weather right after that. And but we're here.
We are still here, and I need to. I just want to give a thank you to the folks that helped out their neighbors and watched over maybe some of the elderly that the power was out, because all this week just have those extreme temperatures again.
Absolutely, and we did have some places where people could go and get a little respite there. I also got to mention the Troy Community Band.
Now they were lucky because they got their concert in before that storm hit,
and a beautiful concert it was. The McIntoshes, Bill and Kathy directed, Bill narrated. But the band itself, the sound was so crisp and wonderful. I think we had a good crowd. I always keep saying we got to get more people to come and listen to our own professionals in this community, because they are very talented individuals and they work so hard to provide good music and sound for all the people that attend. It's at Treasure Island Park. I call it the home of the Troy Community Band.
Love that amphitheater down there.
And as we close today, I'll mention the next one so that people can mark their calendars ahead of time for the next concert that they will put on. But the Memorial Day weekend had a great closure. Unfortunately, later in that evening, we had a lot of devastation, and so we have to keep those folks in mind, and certainly our prayers are with them.
Well, we're going to be talking about the Troy Strawberry Festival. I mean, that's what's
that's
on the tip of all of our tongues. But I did want to ask you, I said you're back on the soil here in Troy.
Yes.
You took a trip over to Takahashi, Japan, our sister city.
Well, let's start with that. A lot of people don't realize how far that is. And when we go there, we also have economic development on our minds. Certainly our sister city is a big cheerleader in Japan for our city in Troy, Ohio, USA. And so we try to combine saying thank you to our business parent companies that are in Japan, that we have business interest here in Troy, Ohio. And we can talk about that. But just to put it in perspective, from Troy to Takahashi is 9,000 miles.
Wow.
That's a lot of hours in a plane. And so for a guy like me, it was a long trip. But then once we hit soil, we started in Tokyo, and we had business interests with Honda Logistics, Honda Motor, and we were well received there. We stopped at Cegna, F-Tech, which has F&P America, and F-Tech R&D. We had meetings with them. And then we also, many people remember Panasonic here in Troy.
Oh, yes.
Now it's Clopay. But the last president of Panasonic that was here in Troy, Mark Yamanaka, we always go to Kyoto and visit with him. He is such a cheerleader for Troy. If you can remember when they left, they were very helpful in getting people jobs. When they closed the Panasonic plant here, it wasn't long before Clopay came in, and the rest is history there. But in every meeting that we had, they were so appreciative of the people in Troy and our city officials coming to say thank you. It happened to be my farewell tour, so we had conversations about that as well. In my many years working with the business community in Japan, and the only thing that we always ask them, what is an issue or concerns that they have from a parent company standpoint? What is it that we could do better in, say, Troy with our local businesses? To a T, everybody talks about workforce retention. And that includes, being on time, coming to work on a regular basis, being there for long term. So skilled workforce, we have the jobs. And people need to realize in Troy we're blessed to have jobs. What we need is the people.
Yes.
So what the city has been trying to do over the last few years, many years in fact, is to try to provide a quality of life, the amenities that will draw people to our region so that they can take the jobs that are available. And that's what we hear from all the parent companies in Japan. They are very happy to be in Troy. They know the location is they know the quality of life is very important to them, and we're doing everything we can with that. Education is a big part. And so all we need to do is try to continue to have the amenities that draws people so they can accept those jobs that are available, and then to retain those jobs so they can expand their interest in business here in Troy, Ohio.
All right. I do have one question that's off topic that just popped into my head.
You just popped it in.
But it's about your trip to Japan. Now, you get to guest conduct when the bands are downtown. Did you get to guest fly the plane or anything? That was a long flight.
They don't want me flying the plane. It was a long flight, I will tell you, and anybody that takes those 12, 13, 14-hour plane rides could identify, I'm sure, with being in one seat for that long of a time.
I was just going to ask how long that flight is.
You have to get up and move around, let's put it that way, but it was well worth. It was a fast-paced trip. I mean, people need to understand. I mentioned 9,000 miles to Takahashi from Troy, but once you get in Japan, nothing is across the street. If you're going to a business, and by the way, we met with the office at Jobs Ohio. There's an individual there that promotes Ohio, and so we met with him as well. So it wasn't. We didn't have much downtime. We were always on. They talk about planes, trains, and automobiles. That is a true statement as you go to Japan. We probably put in another 1,500 miles once we were on soil in Japan,
wow,
moving around from place to place to visit our parent companies and interests there in Troy and in Ohio.
Well, I think it's just a great thing that we have that relationship between our two cities and the jobs that they've brought us.
Well, they were very kind, and the farewell for me was very special this trip.
They gave you a good send-off.
They did. They were very kind. Very
All
cool.
right. Now, of course, we know this weekend going on as we speak, Troy Strawberry Festival.
We dye the fountain, we set things in opening ceremonies, and the nonprofits, this is for them. And they benefit by people coming to the festival and participating and purchasing. But what I always like to tell people, this festival sustains the organizations, the nonprofits throughout their year for their goals and their vision that they have for the community in the future. So we just pray for good weather. We do need good weather, and crowds will come out and enjoy not only the downtown ambience with all the staging and entertainment, but they can also cross the bridge to the levee. And there's also, again, the strawberry donuts are there with the long lines that you will have to endure, but the donuts are a staple of the Troy Strawberry Festival.
Boy, they love those donuts, and that's why they started making them back on Wednesday
Absolutely.
afternoon, I believe, and they make those 24 hours a day till they stop when they run out of ingredients tomorrow.
It's not only a good activity for the community, and it gives a little theme, this Troy Strawberry Donut, but for the band, we have one of the best bands. Well, we have, I think, the best band in the state of Ohio, and it sustains them. It allows them to do things,
and not just the band, because that goes towards all the music programs.
Yes, all the music program, including the orchestra and the chorus and all those, anything that deals with the arts comes through that.
And I believe that's why we have such a great music program, is because that money is there to help us along the way.
And like I said, it sustains not only the boosters, music boosters, but it also sustains all the other nonprofit organizations in this community that participates and does great things to promote our community, as does Troy Community Radio. I got to always put a plug. I am so thankful that we have you being one of our promoters, and David DeNoyer, I don't know, I see him everywhere. I don't know if he ever sleeps, but he does promote with his videography. It's really great.
Well, there's a lot of good things that are going on in Troy, Ohio.
Makes it easy to promote.
So when you think about it, if you're hungry right now and pork chop sounds really good, when you come downtown and eat a pork chop, it's going to help a nonprofit. Want a piece of cheesecake? It's going to help a nonprofit. Strawberry shake-up, anything you get down here is going to help one of the nonprofits out.
Strawberry salsa.
Yeah,
you
strawberry
can
salsa.
pick that up, take it home, and it can last, and it's just one. But anything strawberry-ish.
Chocolate-covered strawberries.
Absolutely.
There are so many things.
Come down to the Troy Strawberry Festival, enjoy, and knowing what you do when you spend your dollar, it's going to a nonprofit for their future vision and goals.
And those strawberry brats. I mean, the list just goes on and on.
You are absolute.
But once we wrap up the Strawberry Festival, next weekend, something big happens again. First time for the season, the Farmers Market opens.
The Farmers Market opens up, and it's going to go through September. And, what's extra nice is we're also going to have Seward Johnson sculptures coming.
Oh, my gosh.
Can you imagine the folks that'll come into Troy just to walk around the downtown area? And on Saturday, they got the farmers market to enjoy, and all the shops, the small business shops. It just keeps going. And I say that because there's always something that you can look positively towards in Troy, Ohio. And
I've had friends and family that have been asking me, now what are these sculptures that are going to be in? They're hearing some about it, and they've seen the picture of what's already down at the Troy Hayner Cultural Center. And which that one is the hunting party.
Yes.
And I just can't wait to see the rest of them.
And there'll be another Beyond the Frame. Those are called Beyond the Frames. Those are the extra extended. And there'll be one at the Kettering Troy Hospital, which is also opening up in June, which, just think of the excitement that's, we got the festival this weekend, we got the farmers market next weekend, we got the sculptures coming up, we got a grand opening of a Troy hospital with all that professionals coming into our community.
I drive past that hospital every day, multiple times, and it seems like right now, every time I go past, something new. There's, that all the landscaping's coming in, the signage, and you just know we are really close. I'm excited to get inside and take a peek.
I know they're going to be having lots of opportunities for people to get in and see that. Also, golf course for those golfers.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
We've enhanced the golf course, a new clubhouse, a new driving range, and of course we have one of the best golf courses around. So my goodness, it's exciting times this summer in Troy, Ohio, and it will continue throughout the summer with lots of concerts, lots of entertainment. And I'm going to close when we talk about, I mentioned earlier the Troy Community Band, and I want people to mark their calendars. So get the calendars ready, because I'm going to ask you to mark a calendar date down the road.
Now, when is their next concert?
Their next concert. Okay, get your calendars out. Here we go. I want you to mark the calendar. It's at Troy Treasure Island Park at the amphitheater. Troy Community Band, a local professional, great sound. They will be July 14th. I'm going to say that one more time, July 14th. And they will move it to 7:30. And that's to actually let the sun go down over the levee so that it doesn't shine brightly into their eyes. But I will tell you, the McIntoshes, they direct that community band, and they do a wonderful job. But the professionals that play for the Troy Community Band, it's well worth bringing your chair, sitting in a beautiful amphitheater, and listening to their concerts. And July 14th will be the next one at 7:30. Be there, because I think you will be entertained and you will enjoy the sound.
It's a great way to spend your evening, and down by the river, that great vista that you have down there.
It's wonderful, and it's free. It's a free opportunity to just sit back and enjoy.
All right, Mayor, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, we got council.
Oh,
we talked
there's so
about
much
the festival.
happening. Exactly.
We do have council meeting on Monday. Let's see, it would be June 3rd. I think that's Monday.
Yep,
I'm still catching up here, but at 7 o'clock in the City Hall. So, and plus you do a great job of live streaming. So we have opportunities to see that if you can't come into the City Hall on Monday. So we have that to look. We just have so many activities going on right now, and I just am very proud to represent the city as your mayor, knowing that it takes partnerships. It takes a whole bunch of people. We talk about getting involved. I would certainly say there's opportunities to be involved in Troy community and look at the positive side of so many good things going on.
Well, I believe that when we all work together towards a common goal, that's when you get things done.
You said it well.
Thank you very much. Mayor, thank you for stopping in this morning, and welcome back home.
Thank you very much. Good to be home.
This has been the Mayor's Report with Mayor Mike Beamish. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJM.